All right, here we're back here with you. Futures opened up. Now remember, we did have a little drag, a little drift after 4 o'clock, but now we're pushing back up. We're about to go positive here on the futures. Not a bad little retake of that area we lost after 4 o'clock. So it is me tonight, 6 o'clock. I am live, and I'm also doing this video, just an updated video on market conditions, some levels that we're watching, and just a few stocks that I'm watching. Because I tell you, it's been a wild week, and it just feels really bad. And you can see from the trade alert box, I didn't take any trade. I took a couple MES trades today, but I didn't even feel comfortable with those. I haven't taken a stock trade this week, and I just don't want to get in front of it. I don't want to. Gonna conserve the cash and wait for that opportunity, which we know will come, and we'll feel that opportunity. Like, this is the opportunity. It just doesn't feel like it yet. And one thing I want to mention is, because I am going to be here tonight at the office, I want to try to get up at 3, because lots of times that European Open is where we're going to see the first hints of how the market's going to, how the overnight, how the Ukraine and Russia, even though that is, flowing situation, the European Open is where we're going to see a lot of that news, and the market kind of react off of that. So if you get up at 3 o'clock, tomorrow is probably a great day to do that. Seeing if there is a bias in the market, up or down. But we'll watch the markets here tonight and see how it, see what comes around. But heavy selling all day today. All day today. I want to show you the S&P cash chart. And I didn't really, even at one point I mentioned, and I said, I'm very skeptical on the divergence trade because there's so much downward pressure that these get run over. When there's a news-based selling, fear in the market, a definite bias to one side or another, you're going to have to add that into your formula and say, hey, the setups that I normally trade in a choppy market or in a bullish market are not going to give me anything close to what I normally, and it's probably best to take the short side. So all day long, this thing was just right into 20, and then got up to 50, and kind of just back down into 20, up to the 50, back down into the 20, then kind of right over the 50. But we stayed underneath that all day long, and we opened up here right around it, and actually it's pulling back again. So this looks, and I don't see this, resolving. I don't see it resolving in the next couple of days. And we listened to a lot of the news segments today talking about, a lot of the speeches that came out. And, they keep on saying Russia's invading, or they're going to have a mass invasion. Like they're coming to take all of Ukraine, and then Russia's saying, no, we just want our little territories here. I don't know. I mean, how do you trade this? Yeah. Any little news moves this market. If this resolved itself, yeah, of course, market nice rally. Until then, I don't know. I don't know how it resolves itself, not at least in the next couple of days. So here we are. I mean, this is a typical, 1, 2, 3, 4. We call this like a 1, 2, 3 pattern. You start to establish a trend on one side. You drop the parallel trend line. This is after the fact. We're really just dropping this in where it's most convenient. I like to put them at closing prices, or at least the low closing lows. This gap down and then gap back up. So whenever that happens, I don't tend to, use those gap down areas because they correct back up real fast. It's a sloppy channel, but you know what? We still have a big level down here. That looks, it looks interesting. Another thing I want to look for in this market is these reversal candles. Whenever we had a significant reversal in the market, to see that follow through to the upside, I mean, even here, it chopped around until we had this big engulfing pattern, and then it gapped up. And here was kind of a candle that closed higher. Here we had that big reversal candle out in January, and then a couple candles, and then we took off. But we have no sign of any type of reversal yet. I would like to see that also, So I mean, to get us down here, get a reversal candle off of this level down here, it seems like things would add up nicely. So the daily here is slightly negative. Typically we look at the weekly too, and the weekly, for whatever it's going to give us, it is getting into that oversold level. I'm not putting too much on the weekly at this point, but I would put something on the 60-minute time frame, which we'll jump to now. And again, we're oversold on the 60, so we're oversold on the daily, oversold on the 60. The 15 minutes been embedded. This was all going into the end of the day today. So I mean, we are pretty much in the midst of a news-based sell-off where things are kind of embedded. This is the only positive I see here is that the daily stochastics are looking just perfectly in a spot where we could start to turn back up off of. That's what I would like to get a reversal. Also, I would like to do is if there was a gap down tomorrow, I would like to buy Google. Get a option on Google going forward. I have some shares, but I want to take an option trade on Google on a gap down at this level, GOOGL. Into that 2500. It's not that far down here. I'm not even going to look at that trend line, which is underneath us. It's a big trend line. But this, I have a feeling this is at least going to get half of this back soon. Half of this back. I mean, considering this gap up was caused by the 20 for 1 split announcement also. And now you're getting a discount off of that. This is very good. Airbnb got smashed today. We did come back to this 1, 2, 3 pattern, which is, has to be the, one of the better spots that we've seen in a while. We've come down to this level. We've consolidated under it multiple times. We came down, bounced off of it, broke down through it, got back up to it, retested it, bounced, finally got through it. Now we're back to it really quickly. Also, on top of the, have a little basey area there. So this whole 150 area is nice. It's 149.44. So watching this one also. I am considered, a little concerned about valuation of these stocks still at these levels where they probably should be much lower. If anything is. NVIDIA had great earnings. Pulled back. There's a nice lower trend line, which we are going to retest. We broke down through it, but even though we get back into it, the next test of it is always a great one. So this is a really good level. Probably worth putting on the HPS watch list too. That means you get alerted to it down at this level. We'll call it 214. 214. Let's actually put a... Let's put an alert in there. Look to buy. You gotta just shake your head looking at this LABU. I mean, they're coming into reverse split area again. on the MES right now. You can see from this low here to this lower low and the higher low above that 20 line, it's kind of holding up. So a little 5-minute divergence. Not a lot of volume to speak of. I wouldn't put too much into it at all. I'm not taking that. It is on that lower trend line too. Let me see where that goes. I saw it up there. All right. I'll be watching it. I'm watching it. Not looking at anything long here. All right, so a couple other stocks I wanted to go through. So we're looking at net. There's a lower trend line right on net and ET. We came down to it once before. Just got oversold. Nice rotation back down to oversold level. This looks like a great bounce zone right around that 90 zone. Here's the Shopify, and again, the Shopify getting very close to that, this major area, the 2020 high area, 2020 high. That little gap up, it goes all the way. We're maybe 15, 20, 25 points away from that zone. That would seem like a really nice risk-reward trade at that point. Another thing today, I didn't feel too comfortable doing any longs today. So I'm just looking at the early pennant this morning. We got oversold. Seeing if we had any setups here by seeing these multiple stochastics setting up, but there was really no bounce other than back up to the 20. Never got through the 20. We stayed embedded here, and that was really the sign of weakness all day long. It was just never gotten up there. That's the 60-10 or the 60, the 60-10 here on the bottom. And this is just the opposite of what we do when we see a bull flag. This would be pinned up above 80. In this case, it's pinned under 20, and you have this fast rotation of the overbought levels, and it pushes up there, and then it continues down. So this is a good timing tool. And kind of did that in every case here. Once we got overbought, we never got really through the 20. It stayed under the 20, and then continue on here. Then we had a little divergence low here. Got a little bounce. This was on Wednesday. This is this is it. I think at the end of the day, the beginning of the day wasn't that hard to read. I think it was it was just after 1 o'clock, or maybe right before 1 o'clock, when we started seeing that downward pressure. Kind of rolling over. We got up to that VWAP too. That VWAP was nothing. That was the key right there. We just touched that and backed right away from it. Yeah, I was looking for a divergence. There wasn't anything there. Sloppy, nothing there. And this is where we are right now. Market's actually getting a little bounce right now. It wasn't that bad. It was just not too many good setups on the MES. I'm still doing my video. Well, it's not a big video, 15 minutes, but the market just came out with some news saying, and that's just caused us to drop 10 points. We are starting to sell, and they're saying that the invasion is going to come before the night is through. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken believes there is yet an opportunity to avert a massive assault by Russia. It's coming tonight, but there's still time. Believes Russia will invade Ukraine before the night is over. So it looks like it's going to be a long night. I picked a good night to stay at the office. Let me send this out. Again, if you guys are out there and want to tune in, live, DayTraderRadio.com all night. Here we go.